I'd been invisible for 12 years. The quiet person who fixed everyone else's mistakes while they collected applause. Then they froze my salary on a Thursday and expected me to fetch coffee on Friday. That's when I realized this wasn't a workplace. It was a corporate reality show with nepotism and designer heels. So I stopped asking permission and started reading the logs. Systems remember. People forget. And I never forget. I didn't start out planning revenge. Honestly, at first, I thought maybe this was just another corporate cost-saving measure, where leadership tightens everyone's belts while they expand their own wardrobes. I told myself to breathe, stay professional, and wait for HR to correct the salary freeze error. But when I walked into the Friday meeting, and they slid the coffee order my way like I was some unpaid intern instead of the compliance officer, who literally safeguarded this company's legal spine, something tilted in my chest. That fake smile I'd trained for years cracked. And suddenly, I wasn't playing nice anymore. See, compliance officers are like quiet librarians. Except our library holds every secret, glitch, memo, access trail, and corporate skeleton. They thought freezing my salary would humble me. They forgot it gave me time. Time to think. Time to observe. Time to remember exactly how fragile a corporation built on ego, favoritism, and circle-back culture really is. So while they were busy planning rooftop mixers and ping-pong tournaments to boost morale, I was reconnecting with an old friend, the internal access logs. Every violation, every unapproved vendor deal, every sketchy bonus authorization. The system recorded it. And for 12 years I kept it all clean. I protected them. I made sure the ship stayed afloat. That Friday, for the first time in my career, I didn't protect them. I just stopped cleaning. And when you let systems reveal truth in a place built on polished lies, things don't break slowly. They collapse. They say real power isn't loud, it's quiet, patient, and devastating when activated. Mine lived in audit trails and encrypted folders labeled routine monitoring. Cute name, right? Inside were 12 years of dotted I's, crossed T's, and red flags tied up like corporate gift bows. Not evidence yet, but enough to build a cathedral of consequences if I ever chose to light the match. Meanwhile, the office was buzzing about the new leadership initiative. Nepotism Barbie, the CEO's niece with a job title longer than her attention span, strutted around like she founded the company instead of inheriting a keycard. Her entourage clapped at every sentence she half finished, like she was reciting Shakespeare instead of Pinterest quotes about synergy. She cornered me near the glass conference room. "Can you stay late and prep my department's audit files?" she asked, voice sugary enough to cause cavities. "I know you love details. You're so good in the background." Background. As in invisible. As in the person who cleans messes without ever being acknowledged. I smiled, but not the polite kind. The kind you make when you already know the ending. "Of course," I said. "I'll handle everything." And I did. Just not the way she imagined. That night, while the office slept under fluorescent halos, I pulled threads. Tiny ones at first. Unusual vendor payments, approvals without documentation, expense reports that read like luxury travel brochures disguised as team development. The system didn't resist. It practically exhaled in relief, like it had been waiting years for someone to stop pretending everything was fine. I didn't fabricate anything. I didn't need to. Truth is the sharpest weapon in a dishonest place. And by Monday morning I knew one thing. They hadn't frozen my salary. They funded my silence. By Monday morning, the rot was already bubbling to the surface. But no one knew the source yet. That's the thing about truth. It doesn't need noise. It just needs silence. Mine was deafening. I walked into the office like nothing was wrong. Same blazer, same badge, same calm smile that had soothed auditors and executives for over a decade. But beneath it, I was holding the corporate equivalent of a lit match in a room full of gasoline fumes. The first spark hit at 9:17 a.m. A junior accountant spotted a discrepancy in an executive travel expense log, one that should have been quietly corrected by my team days prior. A weekend strategy meeting in Dubai. Except the receipts showed a 5-star resort. And only 2 guests. Not a business trip. A luxury escape. With a mistress. Charged to company funds. Then came the vendor audit flag. A high-value contract paid to a shell company suspiciously tied to a certain director's brother-in-law. Audit. Then another. And another. Red flags multiplying faster than HR buzzwords in a town hall meeting. People started sweating. People started whispering. My inbox exploded. Is the system glitching? Can you review this? We need a call ASAP. No glitch. Just the truth finally being allowed to breathe. At 10:04 a.m., the CFO stormed past my desk. Face flushed the shade of panic and poor decision-making. He didn't look at me. Funny, for months he couldn't stop asking me to just adjust this or not escalate that. Now he couldn't meet my eyes. By noon, executives were barricaded in conference rooms, finance leads were pulling audit logs, and HR was sprinting like their job descriptions suddenly meant something. People who once dismissed me as the compliance lady were suddenly remembering my job wasn't paperwork, it was power. I ate my lunch at my desk, calmly, quietly, while the company frantically tried to stitch its facade back together. But they weren't dealing with a leak. They were dealing with a flood. By Wednesday, the executive wing looked like a crime scene made of spreadsheets and panic attacks. Meetings stretched into marathons, coffee cups multiplied like corporate rabbits, and no one, absolutely no one, made eye contact in the elevator anymore. Fear had settled into the carpet fibers. Employees walked on eggshells, whispering in corners, pretending to focus on work, while monitoring Slack like it was breaking news. And me? I was Switzerland. Neutral smile. Calm posture. The silent storm conductor. That morning, I quietly pulled the final thread, the quarterly compliance packet. Normally, I'd soften language, fix errors, and remove anything that could create unnecessary alarm. That was the corporate phrase for burying wrongdoing under jargon and optimism. Not this time. I compiled everything. Every unauthorized expense. Every shady vendor. Every violation masked as strategic discretion. Every well-timed promotion linked to someone's last name instead of merit. I organized it neatly, labeled it clearly, cited policies like a prosecutor preparing for trial. At 11:42 a.m., I hit send. Not to the CFO. Not to the CEO. Not to the board. To the external auditors. The email subject line was simple. Quarterly compliance review. Full documentation attached. No drama. No accusations. Just facts with timestamps. Within 15 minutes, the partner from the audit firm called the CEO. Within 20, legal was combing through my packet like it was bomb wiring. Within 30, everyone forgot to breathe. Rumor had it someone cried in the bathroom, not because they were innocent, but because they knew I'd been silently watching for years and they'd mistaken my professionalism for loyalty. I wasn't loyal. I was patient. By 3 p.m., the CEO called an emergency all-hands town hall. Translation: we need to lie creatively and quickly. The internal comms team scrambled to polish a statement about systems review, temporary discrepancies, and proactive audit. Cooper,